Everybody, it is Friday, June the 19th, and with me today is our Member of Parliament, John Brassard, and I'm going to turn it over to John to talk about, since we've last talked, and it was, I guess, 2 weeks since we've had a chat, and if you could bring us up to date what's happening federally. And just before I do that, though, I did want to mention that Sunday is National Indigenous Peoples Day. And now I'll turn it over to you, John. What's new?
Well, thank you, Mayor Dolan, and once again, thanks for having me on here today. I think this is about the fourth or fifth update that we've done together, just trying to keep everyone in the town of Innisfil informed on what's going on, not just at the local level. And I know that you've had a lot of uptake on these types of videos. I think it's a great idea, and that's why I appreciate being here, but also what's going on at the federal level. I just got back from Ottawa on Thursday. I was there this week. On Wednesday, of course, we had the spending measures, the supplementary estimates, where $87 billion of spending was approved by Parliament. It's the largest spending bill actually ever in the history of Canada to help deal with this COVID-19 crisis. But obviously, as much help as we've tried to give individuals and businesses throughout this crisis, it has come at a great cost. As you know, the Parliamentary Budget Officer this week projected deficits of about $256 billion just for this year alone. And the amount of Canada's national debt is inching closer to $1 trillion. The Prime Minister did announce this week that he is going to be issuing a fiscal snapshot, he calls it, on July 8th. The numbers are quite staggering right now in terms of what the deficit and debt situation here is in Canada. A couple of other things, I guess, of importance, and as we start looking at vacations, many are calling them staycations here in Canada. The Canada-US border continues to remain closed for anything but non-essential travel. Essential travel is still required or allowed to deal with the food chain, but that has been announced to July 21st. The other thing that's happening is we're starting to get phone calls in our office now, people looking at their passports. And I just want to remind everybody that the passport offices in Gatineau continue to be closed, so they're not processing passports. Even if you were to send it in, it will not be processed at this point, and that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. The only thing that they are working on from a passport standpoint, Lynn, is emergency passports as well. And we're in the process of getting our office reopening. I've got my staff working full-time now out of my Barrie Innisfil constituency office on Huronia Road. We're preparing with safety measures. We've ordered plexiglass, for example. We've got gloves and masks. And when we do reopen, it will be by appointment only. We won't, again, be processing passports, but we will be helping constituents with anything that they want by appointment. So that's the latest that I've got. And I know that this coming Sunday, in addition to National Indigenous Peoples Day, is also Father's Day. So I want to wish all the dads in Barrie, Innisfil, and across Canada very happy Father's Day. And I hope that you do get to spend some time, quality time with your family this coming Sunday. And I want to thank you again, Mayor Dolan, for having me on. And I look forward to continuing with these updates to keep our residents informed about what's going on, not just at the local level, but also at the federal level.
Thank you so much, John, and thanks for being so accessible, not just to my office, but to all of the residents of Barrie and Innisfil that you represent. And yeah, on the topic of reopening, that is something that our COVID task force is also working on to see what that will look like when Town Hall opens. We don't call it return to work because I think we've all been working harder than we ever have, but reopening these spaces that are critical for our residents, but we'll do it only when we can do it safely, with properly, gradually and measured, with proper training for all of the sanitization that has to happen, and also the PPE that will be required as well. So we're inching towards that ourselves. And happy Father's Day to you, John, and to all the fathers out there. And have a good weekend, everyone. And we'll talk on Monday.